You took everything from us. Now it's time to say goodbye.
Help! Help! Please! Help me! I can't breathe! Greet the devil!
Three Lagos sugar babies thought they were playing the game until one of them got chosen by a billionaire. And instead of celebrating her, her own friends decided to kill her. What they didn't know was that the girl they threw into the ocean wasn't going to die so easily. If you want to see what happens next, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't believe how this story ends. Vanessa, Sandra, and Vicky were known across Lagos as the ultimate big girls. Soft life, luxury, expensive taste, the kind of girls who never opened their wallets because powerful men did it for them. Every designer bag, every vacation, every bill was settled by someone's husband, and for a long time it worked. Until it didn't. One afternoon, inside the expensive Lekki mansion, reality came crashing down. The air conditioner was humming, but the girls were sweating. "Sandra! Vicky! Come here now!" Vanessa shouted from the living room, her voice sharp with panic. Sandra walked in slowly, tying the belt of her silk robe, her phone still in her hand. "V, why are you screaming? I'm trying to film a get ready with me video for my followers."
"Which followers?" Vanessa snapped, cutting her off. "The ones that will pay our rent." The room went quiet. Vicky stepped in, already frowning. "What is it again?" Vanessa turned her phone and showed them the message. Sandra and Vicky leaned closer. Then both of them froze. 5 million naira, Vicky asked. Vanessa nodded, her lips dry. "The landlord's lawyer called again. If we don't pay by Friday, they will throw our things into the gutter." Vicky let out a dry laugh, shaking her head. 5 million? Where do we even start? My own chairman just told me his wife seized his car keys and ATM cards. He can't even send me money for hair. Sandra slowly sunk into the couch, like her bones had disappeared. "We are finished." "No," Vanessa said immediately. Both girls looked at her. Her eyes had changed, cold and calculating. "We are not finished," she repeated. "We just need one big catch." Vanessa leaned forward. "We need one serious man, not all these broke chairmen. One person that can solve everything at once." Sandra's eyes suddenly lit up. "Actually," she said, "my senator's aide called me this morning," Sandra said, sitting up. "There's a rooftop party tonight in VI. Not regular parties, though. The quiet type. Real billionaires. Old money. Men that don't make noise." Vicky straightened immediately. "Say less." Sandra smiled. "He told me to bring my fine friends." Vanessa stood up. This was it. Their last chance. "Then tonight," she said calmly, "we don't just attend, we hunt." That night, they stepped into Victoria Island like queens entering a kingdom. Hair perfect, makeup flawless, dresses hugging every curve like they were designed by God himself. The rooftop was glowing, soft lights, quiet laughter, expensive perfume in the air. No noise, no chaos, just real money. Vanessa didn't waste time. Her eyes scanned the room, calculating, searching, until she saw him, Chief Benson. He wasn't talking loudly. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He just sat there, calm, sipping a glass of wine that probably cost more than their rent. Power was what surrounded him. Vanessa's heart began to beat faster. "That's the man," she said to herself. She didn't hesitate. She walked past his table and intentionally dropped her diamond clutch. One of his bodyguards moved to pick it up, but Benson raised his hand. "No." He bent down himself, picked it up, and looked at her. "Beautiful woman, you dropped this." Vanessa smiled. "Thank you, Chief," she replied. "I didn't know important men like you still notice small things." Benson's lips curved slightly. "I notice everything." He gestured to the chair. "Sit." That one word changed everything. By 2 a.m., they were deep in conversation. By 3 a.m., he was already interested. She followed him to his suite that night. By morning, Vanessa's life had completely changed. She woke up in his suite, the city still quiet outside the window. Chief Benson sat at the edge of the bed, looking at her like he was studying something valuable. "I like your spirit," he said. "Give me your account number." Vanessa's heart started racing, but her face stayed calm. She gave it to him. A few seconds later, her phone buzzed and she checked it. She froze. 7 million naira. No stories, no promises, no delay. Her rent solved overnight. She looked up shyly. Thank you, Chief. You are such a sweetheart. He nodded slightly. That's for your services and your upkeep, he said calmly. I think I found my new favorite person. Call me whenever you need anything. When Vanessa got home, Sandra and Vicky were sitting in the living room, tired, irritated, and empty-handed. That party was useless, Vicky complained. The guy I met was a poser, couldn't even pay my Uber. Vanessa said nothing. She simply opened her banking app and turned the phone toward them. 7 million? Sandra screamed. In one night? How? Vanessa smiled calmly. Chief Benson, she said. He doesn't talk much, he acts. That moment changed everything. Not just their situation, but their friendship. Because from that night, jealousy entered the room, and it never left.
Over the next few weeks, Vanessa's life transformed completely. Chief Benson didn't just pay bills, he upgraded her existence. One afternoon, a flatbed truck arrived. On top was a matte black Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon with a giant red bow. Look at my new baby, Vanessa screamed, hugging her friends. Chief said he's buying me an apartment in Banana Island next month. Girls, we are moving up. Sandra clapped slowly, forcing a smile. Wow, amazing, she said, though her eyes flickered with envy. Vicky tried to match the excitement. We're happy for you, Vanessa. Really? But inside, something dark was growing. Because Vanessa was no longer one of them. She was above them now, and they could feel it. Later that night, Sandra whispered to Vicky, "Did you hear her? She said she's moving up. She didn't say we are moving. She wants to leave us in this house while she enjoys Banana Island. She's greedy," Vicky spat. "We were the ones who took her to that party. Now she wants everything for herself." Then Sandra said the words that sealed Vanessa's fate. "We deserve everything she's getting." And that was when the plan began. But the scary thing about jealousy is that it doesn't shout. It grows quietly until one day it becomes something deadly. The next morning, Vanessa woke up feeling like a queen. Her phone was full of credit alerts, messages from Chief Benson, missed calls. She stretched lazily, smiling to herself, then walked into the living room. Sandra and Vicky were already there, smiling.
Good morning, our rich madame, Vicky said, jumping up to hug her. Sandra followed immediately. Vanessa, you have finally made it. We are so proud of you. Vanessa laughed, happy, relaxed, unaware. Girls, calm down, she said. We've all made it. This is just the beginning. Sandra and Vicky exchanged a quick glance. But in that glance, there was no happiness, only calculation. Days turned into weeks, and the gap between them kept growing. The balance in their friendship broke. One afternoon, Vanessa walked into the house with excitement written all over her face. Girls, you won't believe this. Sandra looked up lazily. What happened again? Vanessa grinned. Chief just invited all of us on a yacht cruise this weekend. All of us? Vicky asked. Yes, Vanessa said. He said I should bring my friends. We are going to have fun. Soft life, baby. Sandra stood up immediately and hugged her. Ah, Vanessa, you are too much. Vicky joined laughing loudly. That night, inside Sandra's room, the real conversation happened. You heard what she said? Sandra asked. Vicky nodded. She is always showing off, Sandra continued. Once she leaves this house, that's it. She won't need us again. Vicky's jaw tightened. So what are you saying? Sandra's voice dropped. I'm saying this is our only chance to take her out of the way. Vicky swallowed hard. You want to... what? Sandra turned and looked straight at her. No Vanessa, no competition. Vicky's breathing changed, fast, uneasy. That's murder, she whispered. Sandra didn't blink. It's survival. The night of the yacht cruise arrived. The water stretched endlessly. Music filled the air as the massive white yacht floated like a dream. Vanessa was glowing, happy and carefree. She had no idea she was walking into her own death. At first, everything was normal. Vanessa danced, took pictures, posted videos, living her best life. Sandra and Vicky played along perfectly. As the night grew darker, the moment came. V, come, Sandra said sweetly. Let's go to the back, it's more quiet there. Vanessa followed easily. Vicky came behind them. The music from the main deck faded as they moved further back. Now it was just the sound of water and the wind. Sandra poured wine into a glass and handed it to Vanessa. "Let's make a toast to our friendship," she said with a smile. Vanessa laughed. "You people are too much." She drank it all. Minutes later, something felt wrong. Her legs became heavy. Her head started spinning. The world tilted. "Sandra, I feel strange. Help me sit down." Sandra's face went from a smile to a mask of hatred. "Sit down? No, Vanessa. You've sat on the throne for too long. You took everything from us. It's time for you to go to sleep." "What are you saying?" Vanessa gasped, clutching the railing. "We are saying goodbye. Say hello to the devil for us," Vicky hissed. With one powerful push, they sent Vanessa flying over the rail. The splash was loud, but the music was louder. Vanessa hit the water hard. Her body sank instantly. The shock stole her breath. Her lungs burned. Her arms flailed wildly. She broke through the surface, gasping violently.
"Help!" Water filled her mouth. She choked, struggled and kicked, but the yacht was already far. Back on the deck, Sandra and Vicky stood still, watching and waiting until Vanessa's movements became weaker, slower. Then she disappeared. "She's gone," Sandra said, fixing her hair. "Now let's go back and tell everyone she went home early with a different man." But Vanessa didn't die. Her hand hit something, a floating log. She grabbed it with the last strength in her body, clung to it like her life depended on it, because it did. Hours passed. The night stretched endlessly. Her body trembled violently. Her eyes kept closing, opening and closing again. Death was close. In the morning, a poor fisherman named Pajimo was out on the lagoon to fish. Then he saw her. At first, he thought it was trash. But then, he saw a hand move. It was a human. He paddled faster than he had ever paddled before. When he got close, he saw her, barely alive, skin cold, lips pale, eyes half open. "Jesus," he muttered.
He pulled her into the boat with all his strength and rushed back to shore. For days, Vanessa lay unconscious in his small hut. His wife fed her warm broth. She used local herbs and prayed over her. Slowly, life returned. When Vanessa finally opened her eyes, she didn't remember anything. Days turned to weeks. She stayed with them, learned their simple life of cleaning fish and mending nets. One afternoon, she sat by the water, staring into the distance. Then suddenly, she remembered. The yacht, the push, the betrayal. Everything came rushing back. And in that moment, Vanessa didn't cry. She smiled, because now she remembered. And revenge had just begun. Back in Lekki, things were no longer normal. At first, Sandra and Vicky acted like nothing happened. They laughed, they posted pictures, they continued their fake soft life. But guilt doesn't stay hidden forever. It started with Vicky. At night, she couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Vanessa, falling, screaming, drowning. One night, she jumped up from her bed, sweating heavily. "I can't do this anymore," she screamed, running into Sandra's room. Sandra sat up, irritated. "What is it again?" "Sandra, I can't do this. I see her every time I close my eyes. Her ghost is following me. I'm going to the police. I'm going to tell them everything." Sandra's eyes turned cold. "You want to go to jail or you want to die like her?" "I don't care. I can't live with this blood on my hands," Vicky cried. "Fine," Sandra said, her voice suddenly soft. "Go and sleep. We will talk about it in the morning." Vicky nodded slowly, exhausted. She went back to her room and slept. That was the last sleep she would ever have. In the middle of the night, Sandra walked in quietly, holding a thick pillow. She stood beside the bed, looking down at Vicky. For a moment, she hesitated. Then her face hardened. She pressed the pillow down on Vicky's face. Vicky's eyes flew open. Her body jerked violently. She struggled, kicked, scratched. Her nails dug into Sandra's arms. But Sandra didn't stop. She pressed harder and harder until Vicky stopped moving. Sandra stepped back, breathing heavily. Her hands were shaking. "Now," she said to herself, "Chief Benson is all mine."
She dragged Vicky's lifeless body across the floor, opened the wardrobe, and pushed her inside, closing the door like she was hiding clothes, not a corpse. The next day, she told the police Vicky had moved back to the village due to depression. Then she went to Chief Benson, with tears in her eyes and lies on her lips. Vanessa left, she said softly. She ran away with a younger man. She said she was tired of old men. Benson was devastated and angry, but Sandra was always there to comfort him. Eventually, she moved into his penthouse. 2 weeks later, on Sandra's birthday, Chief threw the biggest party Lekki had ever seen. All white theme. Important people, money, power, influence. Sandra was glowing, wearing Vanessa's old jewelry, thinking she had won. I have a special surprise for the woman who has been by my side during my darkest times, Chief Benson said, standing up to address the room. His voice was strange, hollow and sharp. Sandra beamed, waiting for the jewelry box or the keys to a new house. Oh, Chief, you shouldn't have. Bring in the gift, Benson commanded.
The double doors of the ballroom swung open. Then Vanessa walked in. She wasn't wearing white. She was wearing a blood-red dress that looked like a flame against the white marble floor. Her heels clicked against the floor. Sandra's glass slipped and shattered on the floor. Her face turned the color of ash. You are dead. You are supposed to be dead. You are a ghost. Vanessa stopped 3 feet from her. She gave Sandra a resounding slap. As you can see, I'm still alive, and the devil didn't want me yet. He said he was waiting for you instead. Vanessa turned to the crowd, her voice ringing out. This woman pushed me off a yacht to steal my life, and when our friend Vicky felt guilty, she murdered her too. The crowd started murmuring. Liars! You're all liars! Sandra screamed, trying to bolt towards the exit. But the waiters at the door weren't waiters. They were plainclothes police officers. They stepped forward, the handcuffs glinting under the chandeliers. It was Vicky! Vicky did it! Sandra screamed, pointing at nothing. Chief Benson looked at Sandra with disgust. Vanessa called me the moment she got back to the city. We've spent the last week finding Vicky's body in that wardrobe you hid it in. I wanted you to have your biggest moment before I took everything away. She fell to her knees, wailing and begging for mercy that wasn't coming. Vanessa stood over her, looking down at the woman she once called a sister. You wanted the soft life, Sandra. Now you're going to spend the rest of your life on a hard prison floor. Sandra screamed and begged as the police dragged her out. Vanessa didn't move. She just watched. Outside, the night was quiet. Chief Benson stood beside her. What do you want now? Vanessa took a deep breath. Peace. She looked at the city lights of Lekki, then turned away from it. No more fake life and being a sugar baby. Weeks later, Vanessa stood in front of a small group of young girls. Some looked lost, some looked hopeful. She spoke gently. You don't need a rich man to survive. You are enough. A little girl raised her hand. Auntie, were you ever like us? Vanessa paused, then smiled. Yes. Her phone buzzed. Sandra sentenced to life imprisonment. She turned it off completely. That life is over, she said. And as she walked away, one truth remained clear. Peace was more expensive than luxury. If you enjoyed Vanessa's story of revenge and survival, subscribe for more true-to-life Lagos thrillers. Tell us in the comments, would you have chosen peace or luxury?